He had spent years hunting criminals, gathering secrets most people could never imagine. But that night, he wasn't behind a badge. He was just another black man driving home. Blue lights flashed in his rearview mirror. Hands on the wheel, calm voice, trained mind, but none of it mattered. The officers didn't see an agent. They saw a suspect. What followed wasn't just a misunderstanding. It was a moment that exposed everything wrong with the system he'd sworn to protect. And by the time the truth came out, it was almost too late. Marcus Reed was one of the Bureau's finest. 12 years of service, countless cases solved, a record as spotless as the suit he wore every morning. He worked undercover, quietly blending in where others couldn't, trusted by his team, respected by his superiors. But off-duty, he lived a simple life. A small brick house on the edge of town, an aging mother he visited every weekend, and an old Chevy he refused to trade because it reminded him of his father. That evening, Marcus had just wrapped up a long day. He was tired but content. A quiet drive home, a late dinner, maybe some jazz before bed. That was all he wanted. As he turned onto Jefferson Road, a familiar unease crept in. It wasn't the dark or the sirens in the distance. It was the way people looked at him when he wasn't in a suit. Without the badge, without the authority, he was just another black man in America. Still, he brushed it off. He was trained to stay calm, trained to trust the system. But that night, the system he served would turn against him in ways he never imagined. It started with a patrol car easing up behind him. Then another joined. Marcus checked his speed 5 miles under the limit. His registration was up to date. No reason to worry, he told himself. But when the lights came on, bright and blinding, he felt that familiar tightening in his chest. He pulled over, hands already visible. 2 officers stepped out. Young, nervous, voices sharp. License and registration. One barked, flashlight slicing through the car. Marcus obeyed calmly, handing over his ID. "It's in the glove box. I'm reaching slowly," he said, his voice measured. The officer didn't respond. Instead, he moved closer, hand resting on his holster. The second officer circled to the passenger side, peering in like Marcus was hiding something dangerous. "Were you coming from this late?" "From work," Marcus answered. "Work, huh? What kind of work?" He hesitated. He couldn't say FBI, not while undercover. So he replied simply, "Government job." That answer changed everything. The officer's eyes narrowed. "Government job, huh? Step out of the car." Marcus complied. His training told him not to escalate, not to argue. But he could feel the situation tilting. Fast. They frisked him roughly, muttering to each other, asking questions that didn't sound like questions at all. Where was he going? Why was he in this neighborhood? Did he own the car? He kept his voice calm, controlled, respectful. But every word seemed to make them more suspicious. When they asked to search his trunk, he agreed. He had nothing to hide. Inside were only work files, documents stamped classified, sealed in folders. The moment one of them saw those stamps, everything spiraled. "Hey, what's this? You think you're some kind of agent or something?" Marcus tried to explain. "Those are federal case files. Please, handle them carefully." But they didn't listen. In seconds, he was on the ground, handcuffed, knee pressed into his back. They called for backup, shouting about a possible impersonator. The irony cut deep. He was being arrested for doing his job. As more cruisers arrived, neighbors came outside. Phones were recording. Flashing lights turned the quiet street into a stage. Marcus lay there, face pressed to the pavement, tasting dust and humiliation. He tried once more. "Call Special Agent Russell, Washington Field Office. Tell him Marcus Reed's been detained." But no one listened. To them, he was just another suspect resisting arrest. And as the cuffs tightened, something inside him broke. Not from pain, but from betrayal. He had dedicated his life to justice, yet justice was nowhere to be found. By the time the local captain arrived, Marcus had been in the back of a squad car for over 40 minutes. His wrists were numb, his dignity stripped away. The captain was an older man, stern, confident, the kind who'd seen everything. He approached the window. "So, Mr. Reed, you claim you're FBI?" he said, skeptical. Marcus met his eyes. "Yes, sir. Badge and ID are in my wallet, inside the front pocket of my jacket." The captain paused, frowning. He walked to the evidence bag, opened it, and froze. There it was, his bureau credentials, genuine and unmistakable. For a moment, silence. Then came the shuffle of feet, the whisper between officers. The captain's face turned pale. "Get him out. Now." They opened the door, fumbling with apologies. "Sir, we didn't know." But Marcus didn't move. He sat there, eyes forward, breathing slowly. When he finally stepped out, the street fell quiet. Dozens of bystanders were watching, phones raised, faces confused. The captain tried to explain, stammering something about a misunderstanding, but Marcus only said one thing: "You saw a black man, not a federal agent, and that's why we're here." Those words hung heavy in the air. Even the younger officers couldn't look him in the eye. The captain offered to drive him home. Marcus refused. He walked instead, past the flashing lights, past the crowd, past the same system he'd sworn to uphold. He didn't say another word, but every step felt like a verdict, one against silence, against assumption, against a lifetime of believing his badge would protect him. The next morning, the story was everywhere. Local police detain undercover FBI agent. The headlines read. Videos of the arrest spread fast. Millions of views, thousands of comments. Some defended the officers. Others demanded accountability. But for Marcus, the damage was done. He sat in his small kitchen, coffee untouched, watching the screen as his own humiliation replayed in slow motion. The Bureau called it an unfortunate incident. The department promised retraining. Yet no one mentioned the quiet fear that lived in him now, the knowledge that even with a badge, even with authority, he wasn't safe from suspicion. He went back to work weeks later, but something had changed. His confidence was gone, replaced by a steady, heavy awareness of how fragile respect could be. One afternoon, a young trainee asked him, "Sir, after what happened, how do you keep doing this job?" Marcus thought for a long moment. Then he said softly, "Because justice doesn't fix itself. Someone has to stay in the fight, even when the system forgets who you are." That night, as he drove home again, blue lights appeared behind him. Just another routine stop ahead. For a second, his hand trembled. But then he smiled sadly, straightened his back, and whispered to himself, "Not this time," because this time he wasn't just an agent. He was a man who had seen the truth and refused to let it break him. And somewhere between those flashing lights and the darkness ahead, he hoped that maybe, just maybe, the world was finally beginning to see it too.